Hello and welcome to Narrowboat Way, Ayman.
Hello there.
This is our fourth video on things to consider when either buying or building a narrowboat.
From our last video, in fact it was one before, we thought we'd put it in the video, didn't we? But unfortunately it didn't record. But someone did mention, because we were talking about diesel heaters, diesel stoves, etc. And they pointed out that if you do go all diesel and you have a diesel problem, there's a very good chance that you'll freeze for obviously until you can get an engineer out to fix the problem. So that's also something that you need to consider if you do go all diesel. If all your eggs are in one basket, so have a think about that as well. So appreciate the viewer pointing out that out.
I think a couple of comments related to that.
Yeah.
So, but the way to get around that is to have a separate tank for your fire.
It would certainly alleviate the problem. We were told that we were going to have a separate tank in the bow for our fire, to feed our fire, but that never happened. So that's just something else for you to consider. By all means, get a separate tank in the bow that feeds just your fire. If you don't, and because we went all diesel, really ideally we should have got a larger diesel tank in the first place, shouldn't we? It's not very big.
How many litres is it? 150?
It's about 160, 170 litres, which is not a great deal when you think we run everything off diesel when it comes to the heat and engine, etc. So have a word with your boat builder in relation to that, or even if you've got an existing boat, you can get a bigger tank fitted. It's all doable. Obviously there's an expense, but yeah. The gas hob. The boat came with, they fit a standard gas hob, and we didn't particularly like that gas hob for a couple of reasons. First of all, it only had 3 burners. We liked a minimum of 4, but we like a dedicated wok one, don't we? Because we like to cook with a wok. We have a proper steel hammered wok, and we like to use that quite a lot. So the 3 burner one that they were offering was insufficient. Another reason we didn't go with a 3 hob was safety reasons, was that you weren't.
Yeah, I don't particularly like what the pan sits on. To me, it doesn't look big enough. It's like a little trivet, and I just don't think they're safe. No,
they are small, and the pans just look as if they're unbalanced, don't they? Bear in mind the boat moves, especially when Joe's moving around the boat don't half wave about. Not when I'm moving about, just when she's moving
You
about.
hover, don't you?
I do, yeah. I hover. You can put that little clip in, can't you? They just look unstable for us. They may not be, but it was just for us. We just didn't like that, did we?
No.
So we bought our own and supplied it to the boat builder, and they fitted it for us, didn't they? But we had to make sure that it came with, once again, LPG jets. And they just changed the jets for us, and it works great, doesn't it? It's nice.
It does. It's brilliant.
Yeah, it is. It's really nice.
Beds, purely personal. There are lots to choose from those that pull out along the side of the boat to those that are cross bed and those that sit in the bow. That is the one that we opted for.
Now, we opted for that because we've got an enclosed bow. So there is you don't go into the boat via the bow, so there's no thoroughfare, so we didn't have to worry about that. We have a hatch there, which you can escape via, but ours is smack bang right in the bow of the boat, isn't it? Yeah.
It works for us because we opted for one as high as we could get, purely because the space between your bed and the ceiling is dead space. As long as you can sit up in bed, you don't really need much more room. But storage is always an issue on boats, so the higher the bed, the more storage underneath. Now, at the bottom of our bed, we have a radiator that doubles up as a step. We don't step on the radiator, there's a bit of wood boxed it in. So we step on the box and then climb into bed, so that we have both got an exit from the bed without climbing over each other. We just don't go to the bottom, because if you've got a bed that's at the side of the boat, somebody's always going to be climbing over.
Yeah.
And it works for us, don't it?
It does, yes. The position of your bed is actually thinking about it now, is probably more important than I gave it credit earlier. for example, if you suffer from reflux, if your head is towards the stern of the boat, and the water tank usually is in the bow, and that starts emptying, obviously the bow starts lifting out the water, which is going to raise your feet above your head. So it would, in my opinion, it would be ideal or more suitable to have your head at the front of the boat and your feet towards the rear of the boat, so as it lifts, your head's above your feet, as opposed to the other way around. Now you need to take that into consideration if you have just an ordinary standard double bed, and it's one side of the boat. Because if you do sleep with your head to the bow and your feet to the stern, and one of you is used to sleeping on the right hand side and might be less athletic and needs to climb over the other one, so it's, you've got to think about your bedroom quite carefully, don't you? Because let's face it, a third of your day is spent in bed. So you need to, that's just something for you to consider, the type that you want. You may be quite happy to fold your bed up and every day. We didn't like that idea, did we? Folding our bed up, etc. I mean, we've lived in caravans and we've stayed in caravans. We lived in a motorhome, and a fixed bed was important in as much as we didn't want to have to make it up. Get the chairs, cushion chairs, and stuff like that. So ours was a drop-down bed, which was great, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think
that's as much as we would want to be involved in making a bed, wasn't it?
Yeah, because although putting your mattress down and making up the bed, it takes seconds. It's just a pain.
Yeah.
And after a while, it gets, for us, when we stayed in the caravan and stuff, it was just a pain. Yeah, it wasn't difficult, it was just a pain.
Yeah, once again, this is our opinion. I mean, it might not bother you at all about making the bed up and all that sort of stuff, in which case, great, but just, like I said, you just got to consider which end of if you suffer from reflux or anything like that, or whoever sleeps on what end, or what side of the bed, just try to take that into consideration before you make your plans for the bed. Is pretty much it, isn't it, in a nutshell?
Yeah.
What do you say?
Yep.
This is the bedroom. As I said, it's an enclosed bow, and we take up the whole of the bow, if you like, with the bed and associated bits. That doubles up as an escape hatch. This under here is the radiator in, which you can easily access. This slides out, and you can attend to the if you wish, and also doubles up as a step. So you have that, and then obviously the bed lifts up, creates some storage in here. We've got obviously some stuff in there already. We keep our trolley in here, and obviously other just bits and pieces and boxes and stuff. That's our water tanks. We asked for, and that. Also to the side we have these, which stores things like nicks and socks and other little bits and pieces that you may own. And underneath there, that bit comes out as well, so you have all of that as storage as well under there for stuff like. What we tend to do is we use boxes here, these plastic boxes. You get the long thin ones, and we put our winter clothes in them. Joe has hers side, I have mine. Put our winter clothes in, and then we stow them down there. They're out of the way then, and then we swap them over at some point when the weather starts changing. It works for us. We're not saying this is the way it has to be done, obviously, but it works for us. And to be honest, that's. But like I was saying before, you get them where they have the bed down the side, and you've got a walkway, and you can exit and enter the boat, which is fine. That suits them. We have our head at that end because, obviously, as we said, the water tank. If you have your bed that side, and you normally sleep on the right, and you're the one that has to do all the climbing over. Likewise, if you're on the left-hand side of the boat, or the starboard side of the boat, rather, you have to do the climbing over. You might want to think of the configuration that suits your sleeping preferences. I hope that helps anyway.
Bows. So there are many styles of bow that you can have for your boat, and it's only pretty much limited by your imagination, really. So typically, you have the boat that's got a well deck, and then you have tug-style boats, and then you have enclosed bows.
Yep. And I'm sure there are more than that, but they're just the ones that we've seen on the network.
This is a Joshua.
Ours is an enclosed bow.
An enclosed bow. It's not a Joshua.
No, we thought
it was called Joshua for.
We thought it was a Joshua bow. It's not. It's a Joshua.
Joshua.
Josher.
All right.
Yeah, Josher bow, and it basically has a bit of a curve into it like that. Ours, we've gone for that with the enclosed bow. Now the well-decked one, that's got once again the layouts are innumerable, aren't they?
Yes, numerous.
So, but they generally have a couple of seats on the side, and then people store wood and all that sort of stuff, and then they use that area for storage, don't they? Generally speaking, and then that we've seen.
Yes.
Then you have the tug style, which got like a big flat bit of deck really at the front of the boat, which is ideal for sitting out in the summer and all that sort of stuff, isn't it?
Yes. I did ask somebody what they stored underneath there, and his answer was wine.
So there you go then. So you got that as well, yeah. As Joe says, we've gone for the enclosed bow, which means we have a short bow, and so we don't have anything really storage wise. Well, we've got a bow locker, which we store a load of stuff in there, don't we? Things like the anchor, the hose pipe, spare oil for the engine, for engine changes and stuff like that. Just niff-naff and trivia, really, chandlery type stuff, don't we? If you're a bit bad on your feet, or you're not very stable, then I wouldn't recommend our style bow, because there isn't a great deal. When you open that hatch, there's not a great deal for you to stand on, is there?
No, it's not.
Once again, it's something that you've got to think of the future, think of your exit plan. So have a think about that. There are also, when it comes to the bow, says Joe mentioned Josher bows. There are the basic rounded type, isn't there? And we've even seen there's a Viking style bow.
They're quite nice then.
Yeah, the Viking style bow's nice. We've even seen an enclosed bow with a Viking style, isn't it?
Yes, we have.
They're quite nice. We quite like the what's its names. Obviously, it's all down to personal choice, and if you discuss it with your boat builder, they'll be able to give you some insight as to the pros and the cons, etc. We went with our bow because we liked the look of the shape, and the enclosed bow, so we had the space inside the boat and not outside the boat, which was more important to us, wasn't it?
So thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you next week.